Good morning and welcome to ABC News Breakfast on Friday the 18th of October. I'm Paul Kennedy.
And I'm Beverly O'Connor. These are our top stories today. Fires rage across New South Wales. Hundreds of homes go up in flames.
Knock that down and we get these ones.
It'll take some days to see the end of these fires, and I suspect if we get through that without the loss of life, we should thank God for miracles.
School students trapped by the emergency are reunited with their families.
The school looks after him. I was fine. I'm just emotional.
Liberal MP Don Randall repays thousands of dollars in travel expenses.
And back to work at last for nearly 1 million US government employees.
Hundreds of homes are feared lost in the worst bushfire emergency in New South Wales in over 10 years. More than 90 fires are burning across the state. At least 20 of those remain out of control.
Thousands of people have spent the night in evacuation centres. Emergency warnings are in place for bushfires burning out of control near Lithgow and Springwood in the Blue Mountains and Nords Wharf and Heatherbrae North in Sydney. Martin Cudahy sent this report from Winmally.
Crews have been working through the night in an effort to control this blaze. They are putting in backburns all along here because the main fire front is about 60 metres beyond that ridge. So what they're doing is trying to join up these two fires. So they're getting rid of all of this fuel because they really don't want the flames to cross this road that we're standing on right now. But they say that earlier during the day they confronted some horrible scenes.
I've seen quite a few houses destroyed, yeah, and quite a few still standing. You know, some people are going to be lucky, and unfortunately some people are going to be in. It's just saddening, I suppose. Yeah, we arrived after the fire front went through, but you know, the wind. You can see the wind was extremely powerful. Like it's just we're saying in the truck how branches were just. Well, there was a couple branches through windows and houses and collapsed on pergolas and tables, yeah, so a lot of damage from the wind, and then you've got the fire as well taking out, so unstoppable fire, yeah.
Some people from along this road were evacuated earlier in the day as the flames approached, but they've been taken home. Buses travelled down here a little earlier on. They've been told that it's now safe to return to their homes as the fire front has passed.
So there we have a snapshot of things and events really completely got out of control yesterday afternoon as those very strong winds of around 90 k's an hour really whipped up to 100 fires at one point. Thankfully, not as many still blazing, but we do have 20 fires out of control. There has been a wind change now at last night, of course. As we were all going to bed, there was some concern that wind change would in fact make matters a lot worse. Thankfully, that doesn't seem to have been the case.
Wind is the enemy at times like this, and our plan this morning is to bring you the very latest from all of the different danger zones, if we want to call them those. We will get an overview, and we will keep you up to date in just what's happening as daylight breaks, and of course. We will try to find out how much damage has been caused by these fires. And those were the scenes yesterday where parents at some point weren't able to know about the safety and the health of their children, and teachers were all at sea. It was a real scramble. Absolutely.
And at Zenith there was great concern, as we just saw there. Barry O'Farrell, the New South Wales Premier, was talking of just how lucky we would be if there would be no lives lost. We know that several, perhaps even hundreds of homes have been destroyed in the blaze. The blaze really took off very dramatically. We had spoken, of course, to Shane Fitzsimmons from the RFS earlier in the week, and they had been very hopeful that in these days leading up to yesterday that they would be able to contain these fires, particularly these ones near Lithgow and Springwood moving into the Blue Mountains.
This is at Winmally, and you can see there the firefighters just trying to carry out containment procedures, really. And the timing of all this is also very upsetting, being earlier in the year than normal. And the timing is everything. If you don't do all the backburning and get it all done before the real traditional bushfire season hits, then you're in trouble. And as we've seen, the traditional bushfire season seems to be getting longer and longer.
Absolutely, after the hottest 12 months on record.
Thanks, Bev. West Australian Liberal MP Don Randall's paid back more than $5,000 in taxpayer-funded travel entitlements. Mr Randall claimed the money for travel to North Queensland and what he called electorate business. He later revealed he owns an investment property there. Mr Randall joins a growing list of federal MPs who have repaid expenses, including the Prime Minister Tony Abbott, Attorney General George Brandis and Labor's Mark Dreyfus. Opposition leader Bill Shorten will announce his front bench portfolios today. The 30-strong Shadow Ministry was unveiled on Monday. Chris Bowen is expected to remain Shadow Treasurer. Mr Shorten's rival for the top job, Anthony Albanese, will also be given a senior role. Hundreds of thousands of government workers in the United States are heading back to work. President Barack Obama has signed a law ending the 16-day government shutdown and extending the country's debt limit. President Obama says there have been no winners in the budget row. He says the standoff has inflicted unnecessary damage on America's economy. In Laos, rescue workers have recovered some bodies from a fatal plane crash that claimed the lives of 6 Australians. All 49 people on board the plane died when it crashed into the Mekong River during bad weather. Sydney man Gavin Rhodes, his wife Leah and their 2 young children, and Australian aid worker Michael Crichton and his father Gordon all perished in the crash. Tasmania's bid to pass voluntary euthanasia laws has failed. The private members' bill was co-sponsored by Premier Lara Giddings and Greens leader Nick McKim. The bill would have allowed terminally ill Tasmanians to end their lives after 3 consultations with doctors. 3 Labor MPs joined 10 Liberals to defeat the bill. Let's take a quick look at the finance figures now and how the markets are reacting to that US shutdown in.
Well, and I want to start off with some of your photos. I had incredible photos that were sent to me yesterday afternoon and last night, and it was really amazing how quickly the skies over Sydney changed. This one was taken at Anzac Bridge from Riley Stiley, who titled her photo Smoke on the Water. Let's take a look at the one that Tim Ritchie took at 6 o'clock last night next to the QVB building, and look at how red those skies are. And one more for now, like a movie scene. Ben captured this amazing photo as that dark smoke passed over Sydney Harbour, and it is just amazing how quickly the skies change throughout the course of just a few hours. Now, if you have any photos, keep tweeting them in or send them to breakfast. I'll have a lot more of your photos throughout the morning. Now, the reason the situation for bushfires has been so critical this spring in New South Wales is because most of our rain systems have remained well to the south of the country, meaning that New South Wales has had very little rain since August. This year's Springwood has only had about a quarter of their yearly rainfall. Last night's wind change has steered a cooler air mass across New South Wales from this high pressure system. Example of how cold the air is right now, -8 at Cooma Airport. This morning a trough extends from Queensland's northwest down into northeastern New South Wales. This is triggering showers and potentially severe thunderstorms. It's a repetitive weather pattern that's been driving the strong and gusty winds across the country, and we now have another one of those systems over in Western Australia, a trough that is moving inland. It's gathering heat, and there's also a front approaching the southwest, so we will have those very strong winds once again and very warm conditions over the next couple of days. In Queensland today, severe fire conditions across the central and northwest, with the Channel Country also experiencing those conditions. Very hot in the west, a few storms in the north and east, 24 degrees in Brisbane. In New South Wales, a few showers and thunderstorms in the northeast. Very cold this morning for the southern and central areas. Sydney's top 22 degrees. Victoria, very cold this morning, but a sunny day ahead. Northerlies redeveloping and a top of 21 in Melbourne. For Tasmania, showers about the western north, a dry day for the east, very strong and gusty northwesterly winds, especially for those in the southwest. South Australia, ahead of a trough. We're watching those temperatures rise once again across the state. It is very chilly this morning though, especially down in the southeast, but up to 26 degrees in Adelaide. Western Australia, with that cold front approaching, we'll see a few showers in the southwest, but very hot ahead of the trough, 35 degrees in Kalgoorlie and 36 for Giles. The odd storm in the north and across the top end. Again, this is where our round of heat is coming from. Catherine heading for a top of 40, and again Kununurra up to 41 degrees. Tomorrow it will be mostly sunny in Sydney, showers for Perth with a top of 19 degrees, and heating up again in the southeast. A very windy day for Hobart, top of 26 degrees.